Top 50 football players with the best winning ratio. When it comes to football, everyone's always interested to know who's the greatest of all time. But how can you compare the achievements of a striker with a goalie? Simple. We've crunched the numbers, and here are the top 50 football players with the best winning percentages in the world. Click that subscribe button before we get started, and you'll never miss out on another amazing video. So who are the best footballers when it comes to the results at the final whistle? Coming in at number 50 is James Rodriguez, who's only lost 15.7% of his games. He currently plays for Real Madrid in Spain and the Colombian national team. Number 49 is Carles Puyol. He retired in 2014 after an 18-year career. He's regarded as one of the best defenders in football and's only lost 15.6% of his games. At number 48 is Thierry Henry. He had a stellar career and only lost 15.6% of his games he's played, and that can be down to the number of goals he's scored, which is an amazing 228 career goals. Coming in at 47 is Ederson. Ederson is a Brazilian goalkeeper for Manchester City. He holds the world record for the longest dropkick in history, and maybe that's why he's only lost 15.6% of games. Number 46 is Paulo Montero. He again has only lost a measly 15.6% of the games he's played. In 1996, he joined Juventus, and among other trophies, he's won 4 Series A titles. He retired in 2007 at Penarol. Number 45 is Vidal. Vidal has had an impressive career, so no wonder he's only lost 15.5% of the games he's played. In 2015, however, he crashed his Ferrari in Santiago while drunk, and he was given a 2-year driving ban. And at number 44, we have Ricardo Carvalho. With only losing 15.4% of games in his career, you'd expect him to be a starter in all of his international matches. However, in 2012, after a spat with the Portuguese coach, he started as a bench warmer in the 2012 Euro qualifier. Coming in at 43 is Xavi. Xavier Krius, nicknamed Xavi, has had a long football career which lasted for 28 years. In his career, he only lost 15.4% of his games. In 2020, it was confirmed that he'd contracted coronavirus. Luckily, he recovered shortly afterwards. Coming in at number 42 is Paulo Ferreira. Ferreira is a midfielder and defender, playing for some of the best clubs in the world, and only lost 15.2% of all of his games. At number 41 is Danilo. Only losing 15.2% of the games he's played, he's had a cracking career. Danilo has played for Porto, Real Madrid, Manchester City, and Juventus. And at number 40 is Patrick Vieira. Vieira is a French footballer who played for Inter Milan, Arsenal, Juventus, and Manchester City, and with playing with these clubs, there's no surprise he's only lost 15.1% of games he's played. And at number 39 is Thiago Motta. Motta has only lost 14.9% of the games he's played, and after retiring from a dynamite career as a player, he moved on to a career as a coach. Although Motta's coaching career wasn't as stellar as his playing career, he was sacked by Genoa only 2 months into his contract. In at number 38 is Casemiro. Casemiro has played for 2 clubs, Sao Paulo and Real Madrid. He also played for his national team, Brazil. He's only lost 14.9% of matches in his career. In at number 37 is Arjen Robben. The Dutch footballer has lost 14.8% of games he's played, so no wonder he's considered one of the best footballers of his generation. Coming in at number 36 is Javier Mascherano. Mascherano is an Argentinian footballer who's played for a number of professional clubs throughout his career. Some of his moves to clubs have been unsuccessful though, and he's lost 14.8% of games throughout his career. At number 35 is Jose Gimenez. Jose is a Uruguayan footballer and is a rock in center defense, which is no surprise to why he's only lost 14.7% of all games. In at number 34 is Thomas Meunier. This Belgian footballer has amazingly only lost 24 out of 163 games. That's a small 14.7%. Meunier currently plays for Borussia Dortmund and his national team of Belgium. And at 33 is Victor Valdez. The Spanish keeper who played a majority of his career at Barcelona won 21 major titles, so it's not surprising he's only lost 14.5% of all of his games. In at number 32 is Alvaro Morata. Morata is well known for his pace, energy, and physicality on the pitch, so unsurprisingly, he's only lost 14.4% of the games he's played. And at 31 is Kylian Mbappe. The leaps and bounds of this young French footballer are astonishing, losing only 14.4% of the time. Coming in at number 30 is Angel Di Maria. Coined for being a club hopper, the Argentinian midfielder has only lost 14.3% of games he's played, so maybe club hopping isn't such a bad thing. At 29 is Ronaldo. You might be surprised that the infamous number 7 isn't at the top of this list, but football isn't all about individuals. It's a team effort, so Cristiano has lost 14.1% of the games he's played. And in at 28 is Layvin Kurzawa. Kurzawa transferred to Paris Saint-Germain from Monaco in 2015 for a sum of 23 million euros. With this large transfer cost, it's no surprise he has only lost 14.1% of the games he's played. And number 27 is Daniel Carvajal. Losing only 14% of the games you've played is an astounding feat, one which Carvajal could be proud of. And at number 26 is Alvaro Arbeloa. 13.9% of games to lose is such a small amount for the retired Spanish defender who represented his country in 56 caps and 98 caps over 3 Premier League seasons. Coming in at 25 is Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Manchester United's former Swedish hero is a well-known strongman, and considered he's only lost 13.8% of all of his games, it's no wonder he's one of football's most decorated players, with 31 trophies to his name. At number 24 is Marquinhos. With a yearly salary of 800,000 euros, Marquinhos has to be at the top of his game every match, and it pays off as he's only lost 13.6% of all games. In at number 23 is David Alaba. The versatile Austrian player is world-renowned for his skills, and evidently his skills have been good enough to only lose 13.5% of all games he's played. Coming in at 22 is Trent Alexander-Arnold. The 21-year-old English footballer who plays for Liverpool, the city in which he grew up in, has a great win-to-loss ratio in his short career, losing only 13.4% of the games he's played. In at number 21 is Thomas Muller. Muller was a product of Bayern Munich's youth system and later moved on to the senior team, and losing only 13.4% of his games is a stunning achievement. At number 20 is Neymar. Controversial for being a diver in the 2018 World Cup, Neymar Jr. has only lost a staggering 13.3% of his games. And at number 19 is Gabriel Jesus. With only losing 13.2% of the games he's played, Jesus must have been pulling miracles out of his sleeve. Coming in at 18 is Thiago Silva. With a loss rate of 12.8%, there's no surprise that Thiago Silva is such a prominent figure in pop culture, with AJ Tracey and Dave releasing a song named after him. And at 17 is Andres Iniesta, skills, and these skills have helped him to have a loss ratio of only 12.8%. At number 16 is Lucas Hernandez. After his numerous dives at the 2018 World Cup, he admitted to media how he over-exaggerated when going down for a foul, but maybe after only losing 12.7% of games, diving isn't so bad. In at number 15 is Sergi Roberto. Roberto has only lost 12.5% of the games he's played, playing as a central midfielder, defensive midfielder, and a center back. Coming in at number 14 is Thiago. Hot on the 2020 transfer market, Thiago is a vital player for any team he plays for, and that's the reason his loss ratio is so low at only 12.4%. And at 13, we've got Dennis Bergkamp. The former Dutch footballer has had a long-lasting career that's lasted over 20 years. In his long career, he's lost 12.3% of his games. At number 12 is Nelson Semedo. Semedo plays for Barcelona as a right back and only has lost 12% of the games he's played. Although of this great achievement, there are doubts about his skills as a defender. In at 11 on the list is Nacho Fernandez. Nacho is a Spanish defender for Real Madrid with a loss ratio of 12%. He's currently a hot pick for the transfer market worth a staggering 12 million euro. Now into the top 10, starting with Adrien Rabiot. Another player with a loss ratio of just 12%, Rabiot is a central midfielder for Juventus. He's a French national with a style of play that's unmatched. He's a strong left footer and a classy footballer. At number 9 is Maxwell. At the time of his retirement, Maxwell was the most decorated player in Europe. He played for a number of great clubs around the world across a 17-year career and only lost 11.6% of the games he played. At number 8 is Kingsley Coman. The French footballer plays for Bayern Munich as a winger. 11.4% of the games he's played have been losses, which is a bewildering achievement. In 2017, Kingsley was arrested and charged for domestic violence against his ex-girlfriend, which I would count as a definite loss. Coming in at number 7 is Lionel Messi. Messi's one of the best players in the world, with 6 Ballon d'Ors to his name. Only 11.2% of losses in his career, who knows where that percentage will end up. And at number 6 on the list is Gerard Piqué. The Spanish footballer who plays for Barcelona has lost 11.1% of his games. This impressive record is thanks to his class and strength while playing in the center back. He's considered one of the best defenders of his generation. Coming in at number 5 is Presnel Kimpembe. Being a part of the French side in the 2018 World Cup would have been an amazing feeling, but losing only 11% of the games he's ever played would feel just as good. Kimpembe is only 25, but has made leaps and bounds throughout his short career, being worth 28 million euros on the transfer market. In at number 4 is Sergio Busquets. Sergio is well known for his style of play with composure on the ball like no other. His head remains cool under pressure with a 10.6% loss rate. He's a defensive midfielder and has been playing for Barcelona for the whole of his career. At number 3 is Marco Verratti. With only losing 10.5% of games, Verratti has had a successful career. However, the pressure must have got to him in 2018 as he was caught drink driving, blowing 2 times over the legal limit. This is for sure one for the losses book. Coming in at number 2 is Joshua Kimmich. The Bayern Munich defender has had a stellar career for someone so young, and he can add another trophy to his ever-growing collection after his team won the 2020 Champions League against Paris Saint-Germain. This and his many other wins over his career has made his loss ratio a small 9.5%. And in at number 1 is Christopher Nkunku. Losing 11 out of 120 games is more than a respectable achievement. The French footballer plays in the Bundesliga for RB Leipzig as a midfielder with 32 caps under his belt. And that's it for our list. Did any players on the list surprise you? Did your favorite player make the cut? Let us know in the comments. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a like, and if you're not already subscribed, hit that red button and notification bell to be a part of the fun. Thanks for watching, guys.